Here at home, nearly 45% of all eligible Texans are fully vaccinated. The Department of Health and Human Services says that's about 10.7 million people. Nearly 55% of Texans 12 and older have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine, which shows some clear progress. But there have been 700 so-called breakthrough cases of COVID in Dallas County alone. Those are fully vaccinated people who still contract the virus. And of those 700 cases, 11 patients have died. If you or someone you know still needs to get vaccinated, we have the information you need. Just text the word vaccine to 214-977-6028. We'll send a link to your phone.